Hey everyone, welcome back to Tampa Bay Cop Talk. We're here with a new series called Origin Story. You know, I love me a good origin story, of the superhero type films and whatnot. So I figured we do the same thing here and we talk to fans in the local area and, all over the world and talk about their origin story and their love affair with our our beloved Liverpool Football Club. And here with me today is Vijay from locally here in Tampa, Florida. Vijay, what's going on?
What up?
Well, well, everything's great. I have a beer with Chewbacca. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just finishing down my beer. I'll go for it.
Oh no, that means you might have to get a new one, man. But yeah, man, our beloved Reds. Obviously new season's coming up, but let's not get into all that. We have a whole season to discuss this season. Let's talk about you and Liverpool. So when did it all start? Why Liverpool? How Liverpool? Just how? Tell me.
I love this story. 17 years ago, India, and it's like every other Indian, my football story has to do with
cricket. Vijay, where are you from? For those listening for those without video, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Hyderabad, India, the southern part of India.
Okay. Spicy or not spicy food?
Very spicy food.
Okay, I love it. I'm already happy already. Let's continue.
Right. So like a lot of Indian stories, my football story also has to do with cricket in the sense that India were playing the 2003 Cricket World Cup.
Okay.
And we were playing very well. It was during that time, at one weekend, I saw the League Cup final between Liverpool and Manchester United.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? Gerrard scores, Michael Owen scores. Gerrard assists the Michael Owen goal for us to win the trophy. Amazing. And now, at this point of time, I've seen quite a few football games, but not enough to know who's who, which are the big teams, which are the top teams. I knew none of that, right?
Okay.
But when I saw that final, all I wanted to do was, I want to see how this guy plays. I want to see Steven Gerrard, and I just want to see him play. Because there's something about him that I really, really, really loved. It's like I couldn't take my eyes off Steven Gerrard. I wasn't seeing any other player. I was just like, how did he pass the ball like that? He's so good. Look at how he's driving himself forward. That's where it all started. Cut to 20 days later, India loses the World Cup final, and I'm like, I'm never going to see cricket again. That's it. Fuck this, right?
You were like, I imagine the whole nation was in mourning. Was it one of those things?
Yeah, it was the whole nation was in mourning, and I was like, fuck this, I got football, There's no way I can form an emotional connect with somebody I don't know, right? That was my logic.
Okay, that's fair. So you'll never be disappointed. Oh, clearly.
Yeah, clearly,
So it's like it built out of self-defense. I get it. All right, cool.
Yeah, fail-proof logic, right? Come on.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, So I just started to, tuning into games, to see Liverpool play. Not Liverpool play, Steven Gerrard play, and that was also the season where the first time he also wore the armband, and I was like, dude, the guy's 23 and he's already a captain of his team. Dude, this guy's awesome, all right? And that's how it started, and I still wasn't an avid watcher of, football, right? I left cricket, I was just going around, and then Steven Gerrard happened, and then I started seeing, right? And then I also started seeing the Italian league parallel. Right? Because, that used to be on the channels back home every day.
Okay, so in India, you had the Serie A and the Premier League on.
We had all the leagues. We had the Premier League and the La Liga were on ESPN for us, right?
Okay.
And there was another small channel called 10 Sports, which had the Italian league on it, and that's the only football league they had, so they used to keep repeating each and every match multiple times throughout the day. So you turn on the channel, there's some Italian football league being shown.
Okay. Sure.
So so I started seeing AC Milan a lot. I used to watch Gerrard play whenever I can, because I still did not know what time Liverpool were playing, where is the game being broadcasted, what am I seeing.
You didn't use Google at that time?
Yeah, I didn't use Google. I had no computer at my home back in the day.
Oh, damn.
So yeah. 2003, no computer at home, so I didn't
Oh,
know
that's
when they
fair.
were
That's
playing.
fair. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Those days, right? Dial-up internet.
The only way I could knew the channel listing if some team was playing is we used to get the newspaper in the morning, and they used to list the games that are going to be broadcast on each and every channel. So that's the only way I knew.
Wait,
Right?
for those that are unfamiliar with the time zone, what time were you watching these games at?
So like if we have like the weekend games used to be somewhere between if it was an early game, the game used to start around 5:30 in the evening.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then it was a game much later in the day. It used to start at around 8:30, 9:30 maybe. That's not still bad. You can still go
Yeah.
out to the bar, see the game.
Oh,
Well, I couldn't
so
go out at
basically a derby's at 5:30, and then a 3 o'clock kickoff is at 8:30. Okay, cool. I get that.
yeah. And then the games which were the issue were the Champions League games. Now that we had to wake up at 2:30 a.m. in the morning to see the game.
And then are the bars open at that time? Or wait,
No.
are you old enough to go to the bars at this time?
No, I'm not old enough. The bars are not open. Don't ask me how I know this, but I know it. And there used to be a couple of gaming locations which were open, so we used to go out and hang out at these gaming locations. It's basically
like computer gaming locations or what?
yeah, computer gaming locations. People those were open 24 hours, and people since
Like
it
an
wasn't
internet
like
cafe.
yeah, like an internet cafe. You just go there, play video games, play FIFA, and
Right.
they had televisions on there, and that was there for 24 hours. So we just used to end up there. There was no restriction there.
That makes sense. I remember in 2012, for the Euros, I was in China. I watched it entirely at a internet cafe at 3 in the morning. Nuts. Anyway, so for those games, you would go to the internet cafe to watch the Champions League. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So initially it was, watching a lot more of AC Milan, than Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Because this was the AC Milan of Pirlo, Shevchenko, and so on, right?
Yeah, Shevchenko, Crespo, Pirlo, Gattuso, Maldini, Cafu,
Hey,
Nesta, Stan.
Spoiler alert, they lose to Liverpool in 2005, just in case, you guys don't know.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
So,
we're getting there? Okay, we're getting there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So it was mostly, the reason for that was mostly I had no choice, but I started to like AC Milan a lot. And, since I was seeing AC Milan, because I regularly knew that even if I missed their game, there's going to be a repeat 5 times the next day.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I always,
okay.
Yeah. So I got to see more of their games, and I became like a huge fan of, Shevchenko, Maldini, and all that stuff. The Italian, come on, the Italians and all that shit. Saw the final, AC Milan winning, beating Juventus and all that. So it was all that, but come 2004, like the 2003 season ended, right? And then the 2003-04 season started. I was already into football enough that I started getting a football magazine that we used to have printed out back home, right? Which only concentrated on football. So to people who don't know, all the sports magazines in India, if there are 100 pages in the magazine, 80 pages talk about cricket, and there's 1 page for each of the other 20 sports left.
Oh, that's great. Like 1 page about basketball, 1 page about so on and so on. Oh,
yeah. So there was a small football magazine which I found was, in print, and they talk about all the leagues. And that
wait. I'm trying to imagine young teenage Vijay, like going to like basically the local bodega and then buying this football magazine. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. and I never used to read whatever's in the magazine. You know what I mean? The only thing that I used to read was, well, when is AC Milan playing so that I can catch the game live? Okay. And then when is Liverpool playing so that I can see Steven Gerrard play?
Okay.
Right?
So now it sounds like you were into AC Milan more and then just had a Gerrard kind of player flirtation going on.
Right.
So
that was for a good 4 months, right? March, April, May, 3 months when I started talking soccer. As soon as we lost the World Cup, fuck that. Let's talk about football. Let's see football. I don't have to be associated with anything, right?
Sure.
2003 season, once I got that hands on my book, I knew when Liverpool were playing. I also knew when the games were being broadcast on television. So I just started seeing, right? 3 games in, 3 games in, right?
Okay.
Steven Gerrard doesn't play. I think it was one of the other games. I think it was 3 or 4 games into that season in 2003. I think he was on the bench, or he was injured for that game, or he didn't play one of the games for Liverpool, right? I don't remember it was a cup or a league game, but he didn't play one of those games. And I was like, I go in and I still see the whole game thinking that Gerrard will play, but he didn't play. And I was like, you know what? Gerrard did not play. I still saw the entire game, and I loved what I saw, right?
Okay.
I wasn't being passionate or anything, but that was the first time I saw Liverpool fans lifting up a scarf and showing "You will never walk alone." You know, when the camera pans onto the crowd, the
Sure.
fans showing "You will never walk alone." I was like, "Oh, yeah. Is that the club motto? Is that the club lines?" I did not know anything back then.
So to win the Champions League was this huge let off, and then coming into this year, I just thought, we're not going to let off. I think I knew very early on. The first game of the season, Alisson goes down, and Adrian steps in and wins 8 games in a row, and I was like, I think we're going to win the title, guys. I'm feeling pretty confident. And then like the moment that really sealed it for me that I thought, yeah, I don't think we're going to lose very much, was United away. And you just saw the way that we got boned by the referee. We had everything kind of going against us, and they just would not give up. They just wouldn't give up.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So now this is probably your, I don't know, 10th game watching Liverpool, and you had no idea up until this point.
Yeah, up until this point, I did not know, because I was so obsessed of just seeing, what Steven Gerrard is doing.
And then,
that,
but was the TV, because in the States, it took a while for them to start showing You Never Walk Alone. Like when Liverpool was on Fox Soccer Channel, if I remember, they never showed that, right? So was it a case of the TV, or was it a case of you not paying attention?
It was a case of me not paying attention, because the feed which we used to get was directly from Sky Sports.
Oh, okay. Then you definitely didn't pay attention.
With all the Andy Gray commenting and all that.
Okay.
I saw that, and I was like, yeah. You will never walk alone. That's such a set of cool words to, give to your fan base. I was like, who gives "You will never walk alone" to your fan base? I was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. And then I just started seeing Liverpool more and more and more and more. And AC Milan fell on the side. I really didn't care about them anymore. It's not that I didn't see their games. It's not that I still used to tune in because I used to like what I saw. But then... So, like you said, imagine this is the 10th Liverpool game. This is the first time I spot the words "You will never walk alone," right? Cut to the 20th game, I am obsessed with Liverpool.
Really?
It's not like
in what way? Are you know all the guys' birthdays and blood types? Like what are you talking about here?
No. So what that "You will never walk alone" did is made me look up Liverpool FC.
Okay.
All right.
So
I looked up Liverpool, not even Google search. I just, look up Liverpool FC in the magazines which I already had going back. You know that one page the sports magazine used to have for football?
Right.
I just went back to all those magazines to see if they had one page about Liverpool FC.
Okay.
And I just said, oh, this is, it's just the stories, the players, how they talk about it, everything. And the next 10 games later, all I can talk about is Steven Gerrard and Liverpool FC. Gerrard was still a big driving factor. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter if we won, if we lost, we weren't the best club, because at this point of time, I still didn't know the history about Liverpool. Right?
So you had no idea that Liverpool won 5 European Cups and so on?
No.
Or 4
we still haven't won. Yeah. 4 European Cups, 18 League Cups, none of it. I just knew that they won that League Cup, and I thought they must be a good team if they were, playing in a cup final, right? I didn't know anything about
They could have been Swansea, but yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, they could have been Swansea, but for me, if you're playing in a cup final at that point of time, this is a 13-year-old Vijay thinking, It's like you're playing in that final, and I'm like, well, this is it. It's a good team, Yeah.
Sure.
And then I kept seeing them. It's just, after 10 games, this is when I realized I was obsessed. Now, I don't know how the obsession exactly jumped from, just watching Gerrard play in that 10th game to, me being obsessed by the 20th game, because I realized I'm so obsessed by the 21st game. Everyone in school were starting to tease me as the Liverpool guy.
Really? So is that
And
why would that
apparently
be-
for a whole 2-month period, I was just talking about you guys should stop seeing cricket. You should see Liverpool. Dude, this team is the best. You should see this guy Gerrard. He's like the captain, vice captain guy. I mean, when he kicks the ball, your balls are gonna drop off. It's like it's amazing. And I've been just talking about that for like 2 whole months. Everybody at school knew it. They say Vijay, no, it's the Liverpool guy. That's a Liverpool guy. He just talks about Liverpool. And people ask, what is Liverpool? I don't fucking know. He just talks about it. Just go and ask him.
It's because I imagine then 99% of these people, of these your peers, were into cricket, correct?
We're into cricket, and, the ladies
So
weren't even into cricket.
Yeah, so how did the ladies think about you in Liverpool? How did that
they hated it. They hated it. They're like, to talk about something else. What the hell are you talking about? The ladies were obsessed with different kind of things back in the day, in my school at least, things like Harry Potter and.
And then this is some random guy talking about some random sports team in England, not even England. In England, that's
It's
funny.
a league team.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, are you talking about England? No, I'm talking about Liverpool. No, are you but you said it's in England, though. It's like, no, it's Liverpool. But you said it's in England. No, it's just Liverpool. I know it's in England.
The country of scouts. No, but okay.
So,
now I just realized something that I'm not a parent, but I just realized that you were talking about the Champions League and watching games at 2 in the morning. Did you sneak out to watch these games, or did your parents know that you were going to watch?
First, I snuck out. My parents knew nothing about it.
Do they know now that you did that?
They knew everything because my younger brother told them.
When did they find out?
I think they found out by the time I was 19. They found out that.
So years later. So you were really good.
I was really good because, I had a friend whose parents didn't mind where he was going. They were cool.
Okay.
And he used to come and pick me up, and both of us used to go and see the games.
Awesome, man. You could have taught me a thing or two when I was young. I got caught and stuff, but
yeah.
Funny. Yeah. All right, so now you're obsessed. You're still 13. You're still going through puberty. What happens later?
That obsession took over me to the point where, I'm just trying to read anything or everything about Liverpool. We used to have Sports Center back in India, right? Again, a 30-minute stupid ass show. We're just talking about 25 minutes about cricket and 5 minutes about football and other sports, right? For a 30-minute segment. And if they mention Liverpool, it's probably in passing reference in 10 to 20 seconds, right? I used to watch the entire show just to get to that 10 to 20 seconds to see what they were saying about Liverpool.
Yeah, man.
That was
This is before TiVo and recording and all that stuff, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. It's like that kind of obsession. And when they speak about Liverpool for a minute, I used to call my dad and my younger brother and this is Liverpool. You got to watch this with me. They had no choice. They fucking had to watch it with me, And my dad out there was, getting really worried that, my son's not seeing cricket anymore. What the fuck is going to happen to him? He's not even talking about cricket. What is it, all this football madness?
Did you guys have a moment? Did you guys enjoy it together? Is he on your side now? Let's fast forward. Does he like Liverpool now, or is he tolerant? Like, what's going on with that?
No, he doesn't care about Liverpool. Let's be honest. My younger brother, on the other hand, is just as obsessed as I am. He's even more obsessed. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And he's even more obsessed about Steven Gerrard than I am. I sort of grew out of that stage where it's not about Gerrard anymore. In 2-3 years, it's about Liverpool doing well. My brother follows Steven Gerrard religiously. Like, he sees every Rangers games. He sees every interview, reads everything Gerrard writes, posts or anything. He still loves Liverpool, but he hasn't stopped Gerrard. His thing is Gerrard should come back and manage Liverpool. And that would be
we could talk about that another time. But, yeah, that's interesting. It's almost like his high school sweetheart, and he never let her go kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's cool that you and your brother have that, although maybe not your father, but you and your brother have that. That's awesome. And I imagine that you imposed that on your brother, right? You kind of almost forced that upon him, no?
Well, he had no choice. I was the elder sibling, so I had control of the TV. So, fuck it.
Like, my turn, damn it. That's funny.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And, my dad and I did have a moment, right around when, this is a couple of years later, right around when the 2006 World Cup rolled around. And that's when I actually knew that my dad actually knows more than he lets on. He doesn't know what the club football and everything is, but he was pretty, I would say perfect. Like, how non-soccer fans or non-football fans are, right? They see World Cup to World Cup or
Right.
Euro to Euro or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But with my dad, it was different. He was one of those guys, right? Who saw from World Cup to World Cup,
Sure.
right? And then when the 2006 World Cup came around, by this time I was well versed. I knew Liverpool was, 18-time champions. We won the Champions League against AC Milan. I was like crying my heart out that day, for no reason. Nobody understood why you were crying for a team somewhere all the way in England,
But
nobody understood.
wait. Before we get into the father moment, let's put that on pause for a second. We have to talk about the Champions League final. It's the 5th European Cup. What a game. We already know the story, of course. We don't have to get into it, but how did you watch it? Again, it must have been at 3 a.m. You were, maybe 15? What
It was,
did you sneak
yeah, it
off
was
with your friend that
14
night?
still. No, so that night I couldn't go because, something happened. I think my friend wasn't available or something else, but that night I couldn't go. But I did see the game. I woke up I set an alarm for 2 o'clock. I woke up at 2 o'clock, went into the living room, put the TV on and saw the game, right? I mean, it was Liverpool versus AC Milan, right? It was Gerrard against that mighty team, because the amount of times I watched AC Milan, I knew that was one of the best teams that has ever existed. At least one of the best defenses that Levin ever existed, right?
Right. So
I knew that.
So you thought Milan would win that game?
I was very worried for Liverpool because in my mind, I wasn't thinking about, is Milan going to win the game or is Liverpool is going to win the game? I was just worried about the fact that it's going to be difficult, right? It's just going to be difficult, and I just hope Liverpool do well. You see,
Right.
It's no longer about AC Milan anymore. It's just about
Right.
Liverpool. It's like Liverpool have to do. And when it's 3-0 down in the halftime, I was like, well, the first goal, I was okay. I just said like, shit, I shouted, Nobody woke up. All right, that's okay. Second goal went in, I broke the TV remote. Yeah. Again, but still, nobody wakes up at the helm, right?
Uh-huh.
Third game, I take the broken remote and start banging it on the TV.
Oh my God!
Like,
he hurt the TV. What did he do?
My mom wakes up and is like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I was like, "We're losing." And then she sees the remote in my hands and it's like, she already knew I had this habit because it's like, there's no cricket game going on. What's happening? Why did you break the remote this time? It's like, nothing. It's just my team. I want, and then she just goes inside and sleeps, right? She's like, new remote in the morning. Anyhow, he's known to do this. At least it's not his glasses that he broke this time.
Okay. Cool mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut to the second half, they show that halftime footage of our fans still singing at halftime in the stadium.
Showed it. Oh, because you were getting it from Sky, right? I would imagine.
Yeah. They showed that fans still singing, I heard the conductor saying, "This is all over." I was like, I'll be honest, I thought to myself that was over, There's no way this Liverpool team will come back against this AC Milan team. It's just that defense, it's just not going to happen. Then the fans sing, and then Gerrard comes out, scores that header, lifts the fans. I'm telling you, I see that video right now, goosebumps even till today.
Yeah.
Even till today, when Gerrard does this to the fans, even till today.
Lifting his arms up, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was literally biting myself and saying, if anyone should be a captain in the world, for any team in the world, this man should be it. There should be no other captain for any team in the world except Steven Gerrard. Those were my thoughts, right?
Right.
7 minutes later, 3-3, I am losing my shit, all right? The entire apartment complex is woken up because I'm shouting at the top of my voice in my home. All my cousins live in the same apartment complex. So they're all coming up, knocking on our door. And it's like, what is happening? Did something? What did it happen? My aunts, my uncles, and it's like, and my mom had to tell all them nothing. My son's going crazy. You guys can go back to bed. This is,
Imagine this. That's incredible. You woke up your extended family that lives as neighbors.
the whole apartment, everything, shouting is kind of normal in India. Nobody calls the cops, just saying.
Right. Yeah, America, why do you do that? We just want to party.
And I went crazy. I didn't sleep the whole night, got to school early, and I was like, talking about Liverpool the whole day again.
And then everyone's like, stop talking about Liverpool already. Yeah, I can.
They didn't even, but imagine, I was the only one who was seeing football in my class. I was the only one who knew what European football, what the European Cup
wow,
is.
you're the only one. No one was even like a Serie A fan or anything.
Nothing. Nobody knew nothing in my class. Imagine, I had nobody to, talk this proper. Yeah.
So then
there was a couple of.
So how did you then, you're still 14, so I get it. But when you got a little older, did you meet people in India that shared the passion?
When I was in school, I had 2 or 3 other friends in other classes who used to see, We had a Real Madrid fan. He's a very close friend of mine. We're still friends. He was a Real Madrid fan. He used to start seeing before me, and I never used to give a shit about what he was talking about, Madrid, Carlos. I was like, fuck it, Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah. And then we had another United fan, and he used to talk about United a little bit when we used to meet. We were in different classes, so, we never used to only meet at the end of the day when we went to play cricket or some shit,
Sure.
And he used to talk about United, and I was like, yeah, I don't care about all this. Let's play cricket, Right? So in 10th, when my Liverpool obsession, in 10th grade is when it, really hit the ceiling. The obsession hit the ceiling, when we won the Champions League. We used to meet every now and then, but, seeing me, they became more and more passionate about their football clubs. Technically, I'll tell you, fun fact, the Real Madrid guy supports Chelsea now. So,
What a guy.
What a guy. I love him, but, he supports Chelsea now. So, but when I got into, junior college, that's when I met people who actually used to see, as much as I used to see. There was a gang of us, like, 10 to 15 people of us. We had United fans, we had Arsenal fans, we had Chelsea fans. We didn't understand why they were.
All right, before we get into that segment of your life, you were telling me about your father. So I love a good father-son moment. So tell me there was something going on there with the World Cup and all that.
Oh, yeah. 2006 World Cup comes around, and I didn't know which team to support. Right? It's like I'll just see everybody. I was one of those guys who well, any team wins the World Cup, I'll be happy if there's at least one Liverpool player in that team.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I've been the same way for most of my life. I mean, if Venezuela or Colombia are not in it, then it's just like, what do I do?
Yeah. So it was going well. We saw that 2006 World Cup starts, and my dad's back to his usual self. It's the World Cup. I have to see every game. And then he talks to me about, when I was a kid, my favorite player used to be Pele. And I was like, how the hell do you know who Pele is? And then my dad says, I seen him play in 3 different World Cups. What are you talking about? I saw Pele when I was, I heard about Pele when I was first 5 years old. That's what my dad told me.
Oh, okay.
And then, okay, so you're really old. So you went back, okay. So you saw Pele, and who else did you like? And then, the big names, right? He said, well, the next player I really, really admired and all of us knew about, even in India, even in the villages, even in the remote places, after Pele, everybody knew about, and we all wanted to see, was Maradona.
Oh, Maradona. What a legend.
I was like, okay. And then my dad described the goal he scored against England in a way which I would never expect him to describe anything else other than cricket, right? He told me how Maradona took the ball, beat 4 English players, or 5 English players, and put the ball into the net. And he told me, well, goal itself is how he described it very simply, but he also told me the complete story around it, that saying that Maradona was huge back in the day. Nobody saw anything like that in football when Maradona scored that goal against England. Then he also spoke about the goal which he scored with his hand, and he also told me That's called the hand of God goal. They
Right.
call that goal the hand of God. He also told me, apparently, I think he saw a documentary on Maradona, so he knew about how he had problems about drugs later in life.
Yeah, he definitely does. Yeah.
And then he told me about all the stuff, you would watch about, how, he told me that back in the day, Brazil, Argentina, France, Italy, and Germany, these were the best teams that we knew where we grew watching up. These were the best teams. And you look back, that's right, Germany and all these people won, because World Cup used to be the only thing that used to be broadcasted. The Euro, not so much. So, he didn't know anything. He didn't know all the classy players like, like a Cyrus or a Van Basten or, even he didn't even know who Eusebio or Eusebio who used to play for Portugal. He didn't even know that, right? Or he didn't even know the great Hungary team before he started watching, because that was in the 50s, right? 54, 50. So he didn't know all that, but anything World Cup related, he was actually pretty well versed. He knew who Romario was. He knew Roberto Baggio.
So you were kind of impressed by your father. You see that he knew something about something that he didn't know zero like you originally thought. So did that give like you a new perspective of your dad, and did that make you guys get a little closer at that particular time? Because this is 2006. You're what, 16? Guys, everyone was a teenager once in their life. Relationship with fathers is important. No.
Yeah, that definitely did that, and he was also more proud of the fact that I was telling him players like Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Steven Gerrard. These are the guys right now you need to see in this World Cup. So by the time the 2006 World Cup came around, he was just in that mode where he's got to see Italy play, he's got to see Germany play. No one in particular.
Right.
The last time he tuned into a World Cup to see someone play was 1994 when he tuned in to see Romario and Roberto Baggio play.
Okay.
He saw the 98 World Cup, and he really saw the 2002 World Cup, and at both those World Cup, he wanted to see Ronaldo play. The Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah, the original.
And he got, and he got to know about Oliver Kahn throughout the 2002 tournament, because people were going, it's Ronaldo versus Oliver Kahn, the best keeper in the world and all that. So if you have that major coverage, you'll obviously know. So by the time it was the 2006 World Cup, he actually didn't know who to follow. So tune in me, I was telling him, you got to see Henry for France. He's really good.
It was your opportunity to tell him what's going on, to educate him, and then you guys kind of like bonded for that. How long? World Cup is what, a month, and then I imagine you guys got closer during that particular time. Man, that's great, man. I love me that father-son thing. And then has that continued on? I mean, you obviously said he doesn't like Liverpool or he doesn't care about Liverpool so much, but I imagine he cares.
It has continued on. It's to a point where
Go ahead.
It's to a point where he keeps track of everything Liverpool's doing. He doesn't see the games. He'll tune in to see the game if my brother's watching. He'll sit next to him, and my mom will also sit next to my brother and watch the games. They don't particularly care about Liverpool, but if someone's watching at home, they'll see. And if Liverpool wins a trophy or anything, I get a call even now. So when we won the Champions League, my mom called me and said, hey, you guys won, right? I was like, yeah. Are you happy? Are you celebrating? Are you partying too much? And I was like, yeah, of course I'm partying too much. I'm getting shit wasted today.
Yeah, but it was like 35 million degrees. Celsius. It was like 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It was nuts. Oh, we should talk about that. We'll get to that later. But so that's awesome that you're, obviously because it came from you, but all your family, whether they super care or not, they love you. So, and they obviously love your brother. So they watch because of you guys to be a part of your life, because it's obviously important to you and your brother.
Yeah.
So they want to be informed that they can have little conversations with you guys. I think that's wonderful, man. That's great.
They know who Steven Gerrard is. They can describe all his best goals because I've shown him those goals thousands of times.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that.
They can even – my dad can even point out the commentary in the Olympiacos game.
Oh, yeah?
When Gerrard – oh, yeah. As soon as he heard that, he'll be like, are you seeing that goal from 2004 again? When Gerrard scored at Olympiacos? Yeah, that's the best commentary ever.
Oh, my God. Hey, when we're off air, we'll have to watch that goal again. Fuck.
Yeah.
Mid-November, Manchester City. Because they had gone and gotten the results. They'd gotten some miraculous wins. Actually, the week before was the win against Aston Villa, where Mane puts in the header right at the death. I knew there was something special about this team and that they were going to be quite the force, but it was at that moment when Fabinho sends in the top shelf strike. They go up 3-0 against this unbeatable Manchester City. Not only are these guys possibly the best in the Premier League, but they're better than what many would consider to have, at the time, been the best in the world. So that was full confidence, like, no one's stopping them this year.
All right, so now, okay, let's, your father, I love that story about your family up until the present. That's absolutely wonderful. That gives me hope for the rest of 2020 and in humanity and in, just in the human spirit, to be quite honest. I mean, no hyperbole there. I love me a good family story like that. But I got to know, so you're still in India, you're in high school. Now, I know this from off air. You went to college in the United States.
Right. I did my master's.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you went
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you did,
yeah,
but you did that in the United States. So before we go, I guess you did your master's here. So let's maybe talk about your bachelor's first.
Bachelor's was a weird time. I mean, bachelor's was 4 years. I had the most amount of fun going back to my, teenage years.
Sure.
Again, bachelor's, I had the issue of, I had people in my class because they come from all over the country to the college, right? I had people in my class. Again, nobody knew anything about football. And bachelor's, I had a good 2 years in junior college where, high school is junior college in India for people who don't know.
Right. Thank you. I didn't know.
Finish high. Yeah. You finish junior college when you're 17 or 18, just when you finish high school. Right.
Right.
That time, those 2 years were super fun because I had 15 friends who all used to watch football. And we used to discuss it religiously every day. We even used to have money on games. It was like Liverpool versus United. I was like, $50 Liverpool win, $50 United win.
Wait, 50 rupees or 50 US dollars? This is a different thing.
Rupees.
Okay.
Man. It's still $50 back home. Come on.
That's awesome.
So, we used to have all that. We used to have arguments. We used to have arguments. We used to have fights,
Okay. So now, obviously, from high school, you didn't have that friendship with other football fans. Now you have people that are different fans. But did you meet at all in your college town or wherever you were, other Liverpool fans? When was the first segue into Liverpool fandom, so to speak?
Look, I only had one Liverpool fan that I knew of when I was in high school. Right? Come to college, I had no one except the same guy from high school I knew who was a Liverpool fan. Right.
Okay.
And my friend's younger brother. My friend was a United fan. His younger brother was a Liverpool fan.
Okay. Split household. I get that. Love that.
Yeah. So that's about it. Right. So college, I had a lot of fun. I used to go see games we used to have something called as Extreme Sports Bar. That's where we used to go see the Liverpool games. Again, we didn't have a specific location back in the day for all the other fans. So if Liverpool and United were playing, we used to have all the Liverpool and United fans in one room, shouting each other's names.
Did any drama ensue?
We never used to. There was no physical fight, but there was a lot of, shouting, dissing, toying, and all that shit.
Yeah, the banter and back talking.
Because, the United fans on that side were also friends. Because I had friends who were United fans who were sitting on that side. I had friends, they had fans who were sitting on this side. So it kind of was not like a, punch your ass off situation.
Right. Are you still friends with those people today?
I am still friends with those people today. I was best man at one of their weddings, so as well.
Oh, cute. Ooh, a little VJ in a suit and shit. Awesome. Love it. Okay. So now you're not involved. You weren't involved in any sort of organized Liverpool kind of fandom in India at all.
No. A lot of my participation used to be, in online web forums for Liverpool.
Did you wait? Did you get into fan fiction or anything?
No fan fiction. That's
I'm just messing, joking around. Okay, so do you think you were too early for that? I think maybe now there would be kind of an organized Liverpool presence. You think now?
I think so. I definitely think so. 2006, 2007, when I was, just starting college, there were football fans, but, nothing was organized. The groups wouldn't meet that often. A lot of it is, a lot of different fans meeting together. We used to play soccer outside, in different teams and all that. But if I would go back right now, it would be awesome. It would be a different India because now everything's organized. There are OLSCs all over the country for Liverpool. They go, they do, they shout,
Okay, so there would be here. Okay, awesome. Or they would be there, sorry. All right, so now let's move on to another period of your life. As I mentioned earlier, you did move to the United States. The visa situation, we both know from that thing off air. But anyway, so you did the education in the United States. Awesome. Tell us where you did it and how did Liverpool play a role in your life at that point in time? Or where you were located, because I can't even imagine.
My master's was 2012, 2013, 2014. It was in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, dear ladies and gentlemen. Oklahoma. For those of you who don't know,
Oklahoma
I don't know
exists.
if there's anything in Oklahoma. Like my wife asks me all the time, let's go to some weird place like Oklahoma. I'm like, I don't know what's there. I don't know. I have no idea.
So, it was in a small college town called Stillwater. Stillwater had a lot of soccer. It had soccer fans, but not enough that I knew who were Liverpool fans. I had one other friend who was a serious Liverpool fan and a couple of others who were just passing by. So most of the games, because of the schoolwork and everything, I used to see most of the games in the lab on the computer where I used to stream all the illegal sites to, see the game. And, and always used to get kicked out of the lab when we score. And I used to shout at the top of it used to disturb all the other students. So everybody knew me around the lab that, I'm the idiot who shouts. I'm the idiot who shouts in the lab.
Right.
In between, there were a couple of people who I met, the OLS. I don't think it was an OLSC, but it was called Copites of Oklahoma.
Really? So it was like an unofficial in Oklahoma. Like, were there 5 people there? How many people were there?
I don't know. The Facebook page had about, when we and my friend first joined, had 30, 40 people. And, there used to be one article in the page every month or 2 months, not much information. Sure. Hey, fun fact, you can check out my graduation picture with the Liverpool scarf in the Copites of Oklahoma page.
Awesome. We'll have to post that somehow with this episode. But that's crazy. I mean, honestly, I don't even know the population of Oklahoma. I thought it was like,
it's very less.
Not much more than the number of people in the Copites of Oklahoma.
And it was also at that point where, I didn't actively look out to see if there were other people seeing games somewhere or not. Just because, Liverpool were in that phase where, 2012, 2013, Rodgers' first season, we finished 7th or 8th. I mean, it was good since Coutinho and Sturridge came on. 2013-14 was the heartbreak. Your idol.
But that season, but let's be real though. What a fun season though. I'm assuming you watched all the games. I mean, what a roller coaster.
Every game. What a roller coaster, city game.
Yeah.
I'll give Stillwater, Oklahoma one thing. Even though a lot of people didn't watch soccer while I was going there, they knew what Liverpool was. They knew what Manchester City was. Whenever Liverpool used to do well, all my friends in class used to come and, hey, congratulations, you guys are finally going to do it this year and all that. And, I even promised my friends that, the closer ones, that I'll take you out to all of you to Vegas if Liverpool win the league this year. That's how desperately I wanted it at that time.
You offered a free vacation to Vegas? Are you nuts?
I didn't even know what I was thinking.
I mean, I feel like you're very irresponsible. Your mom would be disappointed.
I know she would be. Hey, maybe Gerrard slipped to save my ass. I don't know.
Oh man, what a!
So that got everybody interested in the game because they were now watching it with me. I suddenly had 10 people in my house seeing the game.
Oh, because they wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I was like, you selfish fucks, but it's okay. It makes it more fun,
Well, that's very cute, man. That's a very crazy kind
You
of
know,
scam
13,
going on.
14 graduation ceremony, my master's season graduation ceremony, you know, my friend brings out the Liverpool scarf. We both pose with the scarf, you know. It was just amazing, you know. And check this out. When we were walking into the room for the graduation ceremony, we put the scarf and they showed the scarf. It was in the basketball stadium, right? The stadium
Right.
was full and everything.
Of course.
And they showed the basketball scarf. They showed it on the big one of those big screens.
Oh, the big
Just
jumbo,
with
the jumbotron thing.
Yeah, on the jumbotron. And there were actually quite a few shouts from the crowd when we showed that to the people, you know?
Oh, that's
They were
awesome,
Liverpool.
man.
It's like, okay, everything's good and everything. All right. Partied our asses out.
And I assume your parents were there for that or not?
No, my parents couldn't make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Even my cousins couldn't make it, but that was okay. I mean, and then after that, 2 months later, I got a job in Tampa. I got a job in Wisconsin.
Tampa.
I got a job in Wisconsin, and I was seriously considering the Wisconsin because I like the cold better than the heat.
Jesus. That would be.
But I moved to Tampa because, you know, let's check out Florida.
Right. I mean,
You know,
sun. Come on. What's the matter with you? You're Indian.
Yeah.
We have sun. You
and,
have.
I'll be really honest with you. First 6 months in Florida, Tampa, I hated it.
You hated it, eh?
I hated it. I hated it because every time I had to go out, I had to come back and take a bath. You know, the humidity I couldn't deal with the humidity. It was like, no. I'm going to move out of this shithole soon. 6 months later, I was okay. I was starting to good. It's good. 1 year later, I was like, I'm not going to leave Tampa. Who the hell leaves Tampa? Right?
That's fantastic. So tell us now. I mean, we've met here in Tampa, Florida. So tell us, like, your time here as a Liverpool fan and how you know your data has changed, because it seems like you're a bit more involved here in Tampa, whether officially or unofficially. And then after that, please. Sorry, been drinking, guys. Apologize.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Talk about your Liverpool fandom here in Tampa.
You know, for the first couple of years in Tampa, I think it was 2014 and 15 and 15 and 16, I think. You know, I used to just see the games at home, you know. I didn't know there was an official supporters club. I looked it up on Instagram. I couldn't find anything back in the day, you know. And then I didn't even bother to look to see if, you know, Liverpool fans were gathering somewhere to, you know, see the games. That thought didn't cross my mind. Cut to that. So the first 2 years, you know, one of them was the Rodgers years. You know, I really didn't want to see other crying Liverpool fans because I was crying myself. You know,
Right.
what the fuck has Brendan Rodgers done to us? You know, and then Jurgen Klopp came, and then, you know, we were really happy what Jurgen Klopp did and everything. Seeing the games at work, I still used to do all that. Didn't know any other Liverpool fans in Tampa. Then one day I go to jog behind. There used to be a school in which I used to have a track field behind my apartment, right?
Right.
So I decided one morning that I'll go and jog there. You know, I'll use the track field. I'll go for a jog, and then I go for a jog. I see kids playing in Liverpool jerseys.
Wait. Sorry, what?
I see kids playing in Liverpool jerseys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? And then there's a sign on the rail near where I jog that says, Official Liverpool FC Academy.
What?
That was our actual academy. That was Liverpool's academy. And these were all actually representing Liverpool FC in Tampa behind my apartment to a school where I can walk to.
That's amazing. It's like the idea of like meeting the next Gerrard almost, you know? I love it.
I was like, wait a minute. If this exists, why am I being an idiot and not looking for where people go see the games? And I go to Google, I type it, and it says, all of us watched the game at Pokey's. All right, this was early beginning of the 2016 season. I was like, okay. I finish my jog, I go home, I change, I'm at Pokey's an hour later.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, and then obviously we know what's happened over the last few seasons. Jurgen Klopp has been a masterclass. Um,
2016-17 Pokies, most of the time was at Pokies, I never remembered everybody's name because I used to be a bit irregular to getting to Pokies, because I still didn't have a vehicle back then, because I was, clearing my student loan debts before I buy a vehicle.
a car,
Right.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who
So,
don't know, you definitely need a car in Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Pokies, 16-17, 17-18 season Pokies, again, Pokies. I knew a few of the folk in Pokies, like I knew Shaddy, I knew David. I mean, I never spoke to David, but I knew David was a regular.
I never spoke to him, but I knew him.
I mean, Shaddy was there, who we used to talk often. And there were a couple of other folk, there was Maurice and, there were a couple of other folk, who we used to interact with and, we used to see a lot. And then I had a couple of Liverpool fans who I met who used to come to Pokies with me, right?
Sure.
Cut to the 17-18 season. I wasn't here in town for the finals. I was at Carrickers, New York to see the finals. We lost to Madrid.
Oh man, what a...
It was a fucking heartbreaking that I would kill Sergio Ramos if I have a chance to. I don't mean it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, people, metaphorically.
Metaphorically, for all I care, I don't think he's a good player. He can go and eat shit or whatever he wants to eat. But but
eat shit matters, but yeah.
18-19, before the beginning of the 18-19 season, I met Sanger, who moved into town closely. He was also an OSU graduate, Liverpool fan.
Well, wait, but you guys knew each other. Sanger is another, for those you don't know, Sanger is another Indian guy that is part of the LFC kind of fandom here in Tampa Bay. But you guys went to the same school, but did you guys know each other at that time?
No, we didn't know. We were doing kind of like an OSU alumni meet kind of thing in Tampa.
Oh, and that's how
Then I met Sanger, and he was like, dude, I'm a Liverpool fan too. Oh, great. I'm a Liverpool fan too. So he's like, do you go to see the games at Pokies? Where do you go? I said, I go to Pokies. And then,
and you guys are like roommates right now, right?
Right. We're roommates. First time I had a Liverpool roommate.
See, guys, Liverpool fans, living together. Isn't that great? I love it.
Yeah. And 2018-19, we decided that, Pokies is a bit of a hassle to go to with the parking and everything. So let's check out London Heights. And, as you guys know, we've been at London Heights ever since.
Right. Awesome. Well, that's changed this season. We're
at Social House right now.
Yeah, Social, which is very close, but we went there for the Community Shield last week. But yeah, that's where I met you. I met you at London Heights, and I was like, brown guy, I'm brown, let's talk.
I remember the first time I spoke to you was, I think it was the first Champions League game at PSG when, we had to go to Red Star and see the game because,
okay, right.
Whatever, that's where we first spoke. And yeah, we have fun, Brian removed his shirt off,
Oh man, Brian's a trip, guys. But so it sounds like the majority of like a kind of fan culture that you've experienced has been with your time here in Tampa. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
Majority of the fan culture has been with, Tampa, all the people I've met here. It's just good to know so many people who want to see Liverpool. You know, that's like, it's like an amazingly very, very big sized community.
Be sure to support the homie, Acoupstics. Stoop Coops, streaming now.
She made me coffee in the morning. She made me coffee in the evening. She made me coffee in the morning. She made me coffee in the evening.
What I really want to talk about, though, or what I want to get into is your time or your understanding throughout the years of kind of Liverpool's history, kind of. So, for example, obviously it's a sad topic, but for example, Hillsborough. When did that kind of affect you? When you looked up the history of Liverpool Football Club, and how do you kind of like try to show your support and justice for the 96 today?
So the first time it really affected me was I was already into a year and a half or 2 years into supporting Liverpool, right? Now I knew about the Hillsborough disaster, right? Because, in the commentary and everything, they keep saying that, they're paying homage to the 96. I did my reading and everything on it. So from whatever I knew about Liverpool was a working class community, right? For a working class community, something like Liverpool means a lot more than to a normal person, right? The words "you will never walk alone" would probably mean a lot more to you, me, Sanger, David, Drive than to any other folk we'll probably know, right? A lot of us as Liverpool fans, those words mean something to us because we use it in every context, right? We use those words in every context. It came to a point where I kept telling myself, I'm not the only person going through any of the tough times I was going through. Like, I'm not alone in this. I have people with me. Are there other people who've gone through this and have come out successfully and happily on the other end, right? So for Hillsborough, those words in Hillsborough, I always used to see the memorial. I always used to, understand what happened, what the son did,
Yeah.
What the son did and everything about. So it got to a point where, if you ask me how I was showing my fandom, the best way I can put it is, remember transfer windows where people used to sign players and there used to be gossip on all the sites where everyone used to go and see what the gossip was?
Right.
Even if there was other friends of mine who were going to the Sun website to read an article, I would say I will break that computer if you open that in front of me. See it on any other website, I don't care. After I leave, you can see, but not in front of me. And they never used to get why I used to hate the Sun for so much. So that's when I realized, when I said that the first time to a friend, that's when I realized that, okay, just seeing these things, listening to all the stories about all the Hillsborough people, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of content on YouTube and everywhere, where people talk about what happened that day. You see the documentary, you see everything. You only realize it when you actually act it out first. And I'll give you an example of how Hillsborough affects me even to this day, right? It was I think it was I don't know if it was last season, 1920 or, 1819. And we were at the bar. All of us were there, You, me, Ryan, David, everyone were at the bar. There was this one Newcastle fan, who came in.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember the story. Go on, yes.
Yeah, And then he had an argument with someone on our side, and he basically said, that's why Hillsborough happened for you guys.
And he said it to one of our,
Yeah, one of our mates.
One of our fans that's actually from Liverpool, and that was, let's say, quite dramatic. Yes.
And then, at that point of time, a couple of our fans, wanted to, start a fight with him, but I was, holding people off, saying that, let's not fight. Let's not get into a fight. After that happened, I realized that, it's good that I wanted to stop those people, because if I turned around first, I would be at his,
at his throat. Yeah.
That season, yeah. That situation would have escalated way beyond, what was happening, and and just it's at those moments you realize that how much love you have for a club. For there's no reason, we can't explain why we love Liverpool. Can you explain why you love Liverpool? Some club in England, some player who you're never going to see? No,
like it.
That's the big discussion, Andrew, is like, do we loan him out, or do we keep Divock Origi? Does Divock Origi go and we leave Ryan Brewster there? But yeah, Ryan Brewster has been definitely one of the stars of the two friendlies.
For me, not only do you want him to learn how to play the Liverpool way, but this season is different. It's unlike any other season that we're ever going to see. So much football right on top of it, just going to be game after game after game. It's going to come thick and fast. I think he's going to have a lot more opportunities than you think, because I would not be surprised to see regular squad rotation.
I think because the traditional thing is they're going to send him out on loan again. We've done However, though, it'd be. I agree with you. That'd be dumb. I just have no.
It's
faith
just a
right
different
now.
season. It's like
I have
David
no
said.
faith in humanity, guys.
Everything.
So just to be clear, you haven't been to. Have you been to Anfield for a game?
No, I haven't.
So you have not. That's okay. Does not
Have
make
you?
you less of a fan than anyone who has. I hate that shit on Twitter. Nuts.
No,
But
I will be at
I have to
Anfield one
know.
day.
I have to know though. Here's my question. I have to know. I imagine that you have imagined what you would be like if you were in Anfield, listening to the walk. You never walk alone. Because when I went, I imagined before I went, dude. I imagined my whole damn day, bro. Like I imagined to the exact like minute detail of what it would be like. So I want to know what do you think you would hope to get out of it, and what do you imagine it would be, and like what would be your ideal Anfield visit, basically.
I know how I will be, right? I'm gonna cry my ass off just being at Anfield. I'm gonna cry my ass off, and when that "You Will Never Walk Alone" is gonna come, I'm gonna lose my voice by the time I finish singing "You Will Never Walk Alone."
Yeah.
And I would need, at least 5 or 10 beers to get my voice back. That would be me, right? Anfield is obviously a dream. I really want to go. I was hoping it would be this year. It wasn't going to be last year. I knew that much, but I was really hoping it was going to be this year until COVID
Thanks,
hit.
Corona. Right.
And, I really hope it's going to be next year because I never really could watch Steven Gerrard play at Anfield. But now, at least I can now watch, Jurgen Klopp on the touchline at Anfield.
Oh,
I really wanted to.
What a beautiful man, that man. Oh, what a beautiful man.
Yeah. So to me, that sort of, summarizes my Liverpool fandom, from being obsessed about Steven Gerrard to the fact that I no longer wear any player's name on my back. It's only going to be Gerrard ever. And if there's going to be another person's name on the Liverpool jersey on my back, it's going to be Jurgen Klopp's name.
There you go. There you have it, guys.
That's it.
Well, Vijay, I appreciate it, and I think the listeners appreciate you taking the time out to tell us your origin story. I don't know about you, but I love me a good origin story. What a fascinating story about your love of, your infatuation and love for Liverpool Football Club and our great club. Let's hope for the best of situations for the rest of the season. We hope we win every game. We go invincible, and everything else. But we appreciate you, and I thank you for taking the time with us today. Obviously, if anyone wants to meet you or hit you up online, where can people find you?
They can find me at Social House watching the game on the weekend, but Instagram, my handle is Vijay Kagami.
Okay, we'll probably have to spell that in the description below, but we'll get that there. All right. Thanks, Vijay. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And, up the Reds.
The Reds.
All right. Cheers.